So those who are joining any masterclass with NIND for the first time, this masterclass for the first time, or like you have learned about NIND for the first time, you can reply with first time in the chat box. Guys, I really wanted to be an interactive session. So I would request everybody to please reply in the chat box if this is your first time with NIND. Rest of you, Sumbul, Shrutika, Sushmita, Aisha, Priyanka, Himacha, Karthika, Prachi, everybody. Okay. So those who have joined in for the first time, guys, I'm Neha Vijh. I'm the founder and director of NIND, and I have more than 18 years of experience in nutrition and dietetics in the field. I'm a certified dietitian with more than 18 years of experience. And I have, apart from my MSc, I'm pursuing PhD as well. And I have around 16 certifications and 4 international diplomas. So you are in good hands. And all the teachers here, we all are certified dietitians, those who are teaching with NIND. So, guys, I'm going to teach you about 50 healthy food combinations which we need to avoid for weight loss. So, we you just talk about the unhealthy ones, right? So we always talk about the unhealthy ones. Like we say that, okay, you do not need to have this, or you do not need to have that. You do not need to have sugar, or you do not have to combine grains, or you do not have to combine cereals. We just talk basic. But there are many healthy food combinations which we ignore and which we generally put in our client's diet. Okay. But when we analyze, it's, all the mechanism and everything. So today I'll make you analyze all the mechanism and everything, and you will realize that we need to pair food very effectively in order to make your clients lose weight, and in order to make their gut healthy, and in order to help them with any kind of metabolic dysfunction. Okay. So before talking about healthy food combinations, I'll tell you what food synergy is, what is food antagonism, and how nutrients influence. And then we'll also talking about the good gut and the bad gut, and then we will reach food combinations. Okay. So allow me for a moment. I'll just present the screen and we will go through the presentation. The screen is visible to everybody. You can reply with yes or no in the chat box if it's visible. Yeah. Okay. So every time when I'm going to ask you something, you would need to unmute yourself and speak, because during presentation, I'll not be able to see your messages in the chat box. Okay. Okay. So again, as I told you, that we'll be talking about food synergy and antagonism. We'll be talking about the food digestion speed of various foods, and then we'll talk about what are the hormonal and metabolic implications. A little bit about gut microbiome and metabolism, and then we'll discuss the 50 healthy food combinations which we need to avoid and what are going to be their substitutes. All right. Okay. So we have always heard about the good combinations and the bad combinations in food. We always try to make good combinations, right? So many times we study somewhere, or we have learned from somewhere, that why adding lemon to spinach make the dish healthier, or why turmeric becomes more powerful with a pinch of black pepper, right? So this isn't just somebody's wisdom, or this isn't just, your grandma's wisdom. It is called food synergy. Okay. So simply put, food synergy means two or more foods working together to enhance health benefits more than they would do individually. For example, calcium with vitamin D or iron with vitamin C. Okay. So it's like a musical band where the instruments, if they are on their own, they sound okay. But together, they just make a masterpiece. So here, food synergy is where nutrition meets teamwork, basically. Okay, so that's why we call it 1 plus 1 is equal to 3, which means the nutritional outcome is greater than sum of its parts. Okay, so this food synergy, it matters very much for the nutrition professionals because they would help plan more bioavailable meals. They would improve the absorption of vitamins and minerals in your client's body. They would optimize digestion and gut health. They would reduce nutrient wastage as well, and they would prevent deficiencies even with simple meals. Okay. See what happens. Food synergy, it can occur in three key ways. The first one would be absorption synergy. Okay. So one food helps the body absorb nutrients from another food. Okay. So this is called as absorption synergy. I have not mentioned anything in this slide apart from these pictures because I really want you people to listen to me carefully and understand. Okay. The second one is functional synergy, when combining food enhances their health effects. For example, anti-inflammatory foods. Okay. Then we have digestive synergy. So certain foods, they ease digestion when they are eaten together. Okay. So let's look at some practical examples. See, if we talk about absorption synergy, then we have an example of iron with vitamin C, or curcumin with black pepper. Okay. Or lycopene with healthy fat. So lycopene is fat soluble. So healthy fat would help it absorb better. Okay. Or beta carotene with fat. So beta carotene is fat soluble as well. That's why they need fat to get absorbed. Okay. Probiotics and prebiotics, they has to be taken together in order to get absorbed. Or even if we talk about oats and almond butter and banana, which is like fiber, fat, and potassium. So the fiber which slows glucose absorption, the fat would support satiety, and banana would provide muscle support potassium. Okay. So, what are the common mistakes when synergy is ignored? See, what happens? We generally make wrong combinations. Okay, like iron-rich meals, they are taken with dairy. So, calcium it blocks iron. Milk and iron, like calcium and iron, has to be taken separately in a time span of maybe like 3 to 4 hours. Okay, protein shake without carbs. That means poor muscle recovery. What happens? Many gym goers do that, or many people who comes after exercise, they just take a scoop of protein, shake it with water, and drink it. So that is not going to allow muscle recovery. For muscle recovery, carb has to be there in it. Okay. So for understanding food synergy, we have to focus on whole foods, and then you can use plate visuals as well. You need to keep it very practical. Okay. So food synergy is not about just fancy ingredients. It is about pairing wisely. That doesn't mean that, okay, you have to make a meal fancy. So let's include avocado and tomato together. So it doesn't have to be fancy. It has to be paired wisely. Okay. So you are not just what you eat. You are what your body absorbs and utilizes. So whenever you are making diet plan, you need to keep food synergy in mind. So then we have food antagonism, which is very opposite to food synergy. Okay. Food antagonism is when healthy food, it turns against each other. Okay. So for example, as I was talking about calcium and iron, when calcium and iron, they are taken together, they turn against each other. They are not good for each other. Okay. So imagine spending hours preparing a very colorful and nutritious meal, which is filled with vegetables or maybe whole grains and protein. You eat it, you feel proud, but your body may absorb only a fraction of the nutrients. And why? Because eating food is only step one. So the real magic, it would happen when the nutrients are absorbed into your bloodstream. And that process is the game of chemistry, biology, and timing. Okay. So that's why nutrient absorption is as much as important, and that's why we play with food synergies. Okay. See, nutrient absorption, we all know that it is the process of absorbing all the nutrients. We all know that the digestive system, it breaks food into tiny parts, or then comes the enzymes, which helps in the digestion. Okay, we all know the process of digestion. But how much is your client actually absorbing it? That is the main part. Okay. So you might eat maybe 18 mg of iron in a spinach curry, but absorb only 1 to 2 mg if the food is not paired upright. Okay. Or you may also drink like 500 mg of calcium in a shake. But if it's taken with caffeine or iron, absorption it drops significantly. Okay. So there are many factors which affect the nutrient absorption in food. The first being the food combination. The wrong food combination, maybe tea, coffee, and iron, or maybe, fiber with calcium or iron, because nutrient binding doesn't take place. The second factor would be digestive enzymes. So if a person lacks enzymes like lactase, they won't absorb nutrient from milk properly. Then if the gut health is not proper, so a healthy gut lining is very important. Okay. So now we'll be talking about the food digestion speed. See what happened, different foods, they digest differently, they have different enzymes, and as well as they take every food, it takes different time to digest in. Okay, for example, if it's like water, it would take like 0 to 10 minutes. Then if we come to fruits, it would take up to 30 minutes. Okay, so there are different food which digest at different speed. So here you can take a minute and just look at the table at what is the digestion speed, and then I'll explain it. Okay. See, so just as different vehicles, they run at different speeds on a highway, food groups move through your digestive tract at their own pace. So mixing them without consideration can lead to, for example, say traffic jam in your gut. Okay. So as I told you that water, it takes around 0 to 10 minutes to digest, and it can be best consumed 30 minutes before meals. We should avoid water during meals. Fruits, it takes around 15 to 30 minutes. Sorry, fruits, it take around 30 to 60 minutes. Juices take 15 to 30 minutes. This is best on an empty stomach. Okay. And if they are trapped with cooked food, so they will rot inside your stomach. That's why I always tell my students to do not give fruits along with, the main meals, or to do not give raw foods along with the cooked foods. Okay. Then we have vegetables. Mostly vegetables, they take around 30 to 90 minutes because they are light, they are fiber rich, and generally they are easy to digest. Okay. Then there are legumes. Okay. Legumes and grains, they take around 2 to 3 hours because they require enzymes for complex carbohydrate. They contain resistant starch and anti-nutrients, and that's why the digestion is slower. Then we have milk and paneer, etc. They also take 2 to 3 hours. They are slow, especially with other when they are paired up with proteins of fruits, which we'll be understanding in our upcoming slides. Then we have nuts and seeds. So nuts and seeds, it takes around 3 to 4 hours to digest. Okay, because they are high in fat, they are high in fiber, and that's why the digestion is slower. Then comes the animal proteins, which take around 3 to 5 hours to digest. Okay. So they are the hardest to digest. The stomach needs strong acid and strong enzymatic activities. Then we have the fatty food or the oils. Okay. They take around 4 to 6 hours, and these are the slowest macronutrients to digest. They delay gastric emptying itself. See what happens when we take fatty food, like if we are eating like samosa or chole bhature or any Indian food which is fatty or oily. Okay, we need to wait for at least 4 to 5 hours. Okay, and then we should take our another meal. But that doesn't happen in our case because we dietitians, what we do, we plan 5 to 6 meals in a day for client. And if the client has taken pakoda or samosa or chola bhatura in one meal, they are not going to wait for 5 hours to have their another meal. They'll just have it in after 2.5 to 3 hours. Okay. The stomach is already in the process of digesting fat, and then they start eating food, and then the stomach has more work to do for. Okay. So that's why the person is not able to lose weight, because when they eat high fat food, they have to wait for at least 5 hours for the food to digest and then take another meal. Okay. See what happens in understanding enzyme is very crucial. So they are the workers which break down your food into absorbable units. Okay. So for carbohydrates, for example, the enzymes are salivary amylase and pancreatic amylase. The pH should be slightly alkaline for them to digest. Okay. For protein, if we talk about, the pH should be slightly acidic. For fat, if we talk about, the pH should be slightly alkaline. Okay. So that's why the digestion time of all the food are different. And imagine if they are given with the wrong food combinations, then what happens? For example, people, they take milk with banana. Milk and banana, both of them have different pH. Both of them have different delayed emptying, and both of them ferment when they are taken together. Okay, so banana can best be taken with soaked almonds only. People take fruit and yogurt together. Like we generally plan maybe yogurt and berries in diet, and fruit and yogurt in diet. The problem is both of them, they get ferment inside the gut, they cause bloating. Okay, so fruit and yogurt should also not be given together. So these combination, they mirror some like Ayurvedic concepts like Viruddha Ahar as an incompatible foods. So validating the science behind the ancient wisdom. Okay. Again, you eat a breakfast smoothie with milk, banana, protein powder, all mixed. Now what happens? Stomach acid drops due to alkaline banana and milk pH conflict. Poor protein digestion is impaired, leading to rotting. Fermentation begins because bananas should have digested in 30 minutes, but it's stuck. Gas and bloating follows because there is post-meal fatigue. Okay. Over time, the gut lining, it weakens and the nutrient absorption, it declines. So what happens? Person develop leaky gut or food intolerances, poor metabolism, and after that they get metabolic dysfunction, which might lead to PCOS, thyroid, diabetes, and all other kinds of disease you can think of. Okay. So each food group is unique, each enzyme has a role, each timing matters, and raw combinations can trigger inflammation, poor nutrient uptake, and as well as chronic digestive issues. Right? So, for example, if you are pairing up fruits with nuts, so fruits they take 30 to 60 minutes to digest, and nuts they take 2 to 3 hours. So even if you are pairing them together, okay, then you need to keep in mind the quantity which you are giving. So do not give a handful of mixed nuts or handful of mixed seeds. So most of the dietitians, as dietitians, we write handful of mixed nuts. So if you're going to write handful of mixed nuts, the client is going to understand handful only. They are not going to take it like 5 to 6 soaked almonds. So you have to mention the quantity which you are giving in with the particular fruit. Okay. So now let's talk about the hormonal and metabolic implications that what happens. Okay. First, we'll be talking about the food pairings which spike insulin and promote fat storage. See what happened. You may imagine eating a bowl of cereal with low fat milk and a banana on top. Okay. A breakfast which is hailed as healthy by most. We have always listened that this is the best breakfast. This is the most healthy breakfast, that you can have a bowl of cereal with low fat milk and banana. We generally give it. But for your pancreas, it's an emergency. Okay. Sugar is going to flood your bloodstream. Insulin is going to shoot up, and your body will scramble to store the excess fat. Okay. So while calorie counting has its place, the hormonal response to food, especially insulin, it plays a bigger role in fat storage. So it's not just about sugar. The combination of what you eat and what determines how your body processes nutrients and whether it burns or stores energy also matters. Okay. We all know about insulin, that it is a hormone released by pancreas in response to rising blood glucose level. The primary job is to promote fat storage or inhibit fat breakdown. Okay. The higher and more frequent your insulin spikes, the more your body is signaled to store fat and block fat burning. Okay. So two meals with the same calorie count can have dramatically different effect on insulin and fat storage based on how foods are combined. This might be due to glycemic index, like how fast carbs convert to glucose. This might be due to glycemic load. Okay. This might be due to macronutrient content, like carbs eaten with or without fat or protein. This might be due to the digestive timing and enzyme overlap as well. So I'll tell you about the top insulin spiking food pairings which a person needs to avoid. The first one is bread with fruit juice. Okay. Bread, which has refined flour, along with liquid sugar, that is going to give you a rapid glucose dump. Okay. The insulin impact would be very high and fast. And if you talk about the metabolic effect, glucose will flood in, insulin will spike in, there would be energy crash, which would lead to hunger again. Okay. And then we have white rice and yogurt. Okay. So curd rice is considered as the best ferment food for gut, right? Refined carbs plus dairy also gives an insulin surge. Okay. What happens? There is high glycemic load, plus there would be delayed digestion from dairy as well. Then we give protein smoothie with high GI fruits. Sometimes what happens, many dietitians, they suggest protein smoothie with high GI fruits. So liquid sugar, with sugar spikes quickly, protein slows it a bit, but not enough. Okay. So better alternative will be to give green smoothie with spinach. You can add unsweetened plant milk. You can add chia seeds and half a banana. Then again, we see many people giving sweet potato with honey to diabetic clients. We have seen many clients come and many dietitians giving it. Natural sugars with starchy carb, which would mean double insulin load. Okay. And there would be unnecessary spike from too high GI foods. So sweet potatoes can be given with tahinis or maybe with egg whites. Okay. Now, how poor combination promote fat storage? When high glycemic index carbs, they are paired with maybe low fiber or no protein or little or no fat. You get faster digestion, you get higher insulin, you get increased fat storage. You might also get energy crashes and more hunger. And the cycle continues on and on. Okay. So this becomes like the blood sugar roller coaster. When the food pairings are bad, glucose will spike up, there would be insulin spike, then the glucose will drop, you'll have hungers and cravings again, and you would do overeating again. Okay. So there might be some signs where you could understand that your meals are spiking insulin. So if you have craving within 1 to 1.5 hours of eating, if there is post meal fatigue or sleepiness, okay, if there is bloating or visible belly fat, if you need frequent snacking, and if there is difficulty losing weight despite of healthy eating. So these are the signs where your meals are spiking insulin. Okay. Then our next part is leptin, ghrelin, and cravings, how poor combos disrupt satiety. See, have you ever wondered that why some meals leave you hungry an hour later while others keep you full for hours? Okay. The answer, it lies in two key hormones known as leptin and ghrelin, which is your body's hunger and fullness regulator. So leptin is the satiety hormone, which tells you to stop eating. Ghrelin is the hunger hormone, which tells you to start eating. Okay. So, but food combinations can either support or sabotage these hormones. So even if you eat healthy food, the wrong pairings can make leptin resistance worse or boost ghrelin, or they might also lead to constant craving, binge eating, emotional hunger, weight gain, fatigue, and mood swings. Okay. So leptin is the I am full signal. It is secreted by the fat cells. It tells your brain that you have enough energy, stop eating, and then More body fat is equal to more leptin, but it's not always effective. Okay. So leptin resistance is when the brain doesn't listen to the body. Okay. Then we have ghrelin, which is the I am hungry alarm. It is secreted by the stomach. It spikes up before meals and it drops after eating. It stimulates hunger, especially for high carb, high fat food. Okay. So the wrong combinations which can confuse your hunger hormones may be cereal with your skimmed milk. It may be fruit with yogurt. Okay. What happens to ghrelin and leptin in fruit with yogurt is ghrelin, it returns hunger quickly. Leptin doesn't kick in due to insulin spike. Even green salad without fat. Okay, so if there is no fat, there would be no fat soluble vitamins which would be absorbed. There would be less satiety. Okay, the calorie density is low, and the people will start feeling hungry again. Even smoothie with banana, dates, and almond milk. What it does, it's really high in sugar because the fiber is low as well. Ghrelin would drop temporarily but would rebound fast. Leptin will give you short term satiety and there would be long term resistance. Even many people in Indian household that take roti and aloo ki sabji, which is carb on carb with low protein, fat, and fiber. Ghrelin, very little suppression because only carbs are there. Leptin doesn't give any kind of signaling. So people tend to eat more and more. Okay. So understanding leptin and ghrelin, it will give you a power lens to view food beyond calories. Okay. It's not about eating less, but eating smarter. So when your meals are balanced in protein, fiber, and fat, you avoid any kind of chaotic sugar fat pairing. You naturally feel full, you feel energized and in control of your cravings. Okay. So what are the simple tips you can use to curb cravings and boost fullness would be you can start your meal with super salad. You need to avoid carbs without fat, protein, and fiber. Eat a high protein breakfast to suppress ghrelin. You can add a little fat to each meal for leptin signaling. You need to avoid snacking on fruit alone. Always pair them with 5 to 6 soaked almonds and 2 walnut halves, I would say. The quantity should be monitored, okay? And you need to stay hydrated because uh, the cue for hunger and the cue of feeling thirsty is the same. So sometimes what happens, like if you have had your meal 1 hour before and you have the same cue, you often, confuse it with hunger cue and you start eating but you might be thirsty. That's your body signaling. Okay. The next point which we have is cortisol, stress, and gut discomfort from wrong combinations. See what happened. You have had a seemingly healthy meal, maybe a salad with yogurt or maybe a fruit, and within an hour, you feel bloated, you feel sluggish, or you even feel anxious, right? Many of your clients would have felt like that. So do anyone of you want to share a story like this when your client they come and tell you that even having my salad or even after having my fruit and yogurt I still feel hungry or I feel bloated, sluggish, or even anxious? Anyone, do you have a story to share? You might be taking on clients, right? You might be planning meals for your clients, and there would be many who might come to you with the same problem. What do you all say? Anybody can unmute yourself and speak up. Do you yeah?
Yeah, ma'am. In that case, I will ask them to take some handful of peanuts or roasted chickpeas or any fruit which is a low glycemic index like apple, guava, pomegranate, or orange, any fruits if they
Mhm,
feel hungry after having the combinations which you said.
mhm, mhm, mhm. Absolutely. And when you tell them to have a fruit, that also doesn't suffice their hunger because they are those fruits they digest very quickly, they digest very easily, and that is they are that's also not you know curbing their cravings. So that's why we need to pair the foods properly. Okay. So, see what happens. The cause isn't just what you ate, but how the foods were combined. Combination of foods also trigger a stress response in the body. So this is where the cortisol, the primary stress hormone, it enters the story. Okay. So this is not about deadlines, so this is not about arguments, but also due to poor digestion and incompatible food pairing. Okay. See, cortisol is produced by our adrenal glands. It regulates the stress response, blood sugar, inflammation, and digestion. And it's naturally highest in the morning. Okay. It's highest at around 9 a.m. So between 7 to 9, the cortisol is highest to wake you up, and it should decline by night. Okay. But due to chronic stress, including the digestive stress, it can cause persistent high cortisol, which can lead to leaky gut or microbial imbalance or maybe poor nutrient absorption or a slower metabolism and even cravings and belly fat. Okay. So the incompatible foods, they are harder to digest. Then incomplete digestion leads to fermentation in the gut. The result is gas, bloating, and discomfort, which is perceived as threat by your body. In that case, brain triggers cortisol, and it gets released to manage this internal stress. Okay. So जितनी बारी cortisol spike up होगा, the gut lining would weaken, there would be increased inflammation, and the gut, discomfort worsens. So if we think that gut discomfort or leaky gut or gut inflammation is caused by pairing only unhealthy food, then we are wrong. We might be pairing up some healthy foods, which are so-called healthy foods, which are disturbing our gut as well. So this becomes a vicious cycle where meals which were meant to nourish, they are now draining or inflaming. Okay. So for example, when you combine fruit with dairy, especially when banana milk is combined or mango and milk is combined. So people in India, they drink banana shake and mango shake like hell, right? It's present in every household. But this combination, it creates havoc inside the gut. What happens? The acidic fruit and the mucus forming dairy, it leads to fermentation inside the gut. Then there would be gas and bloating, which is perceived as internal stressor, and there would be cortisol spike. Okay. Then the second combination, which acts like this, is protein and starch. So paneer sandwich, chicken burger, or chicken sandwiches. So see, protein, it needs acidic medium. Starch, it needs alkaline medium. When they are given together, your stomach is going to get confused. There would be incomplete breakdown. The stress hormones would rise. And then there would be cramps or irritability inside the gut. So protein, the better combo would be paneer with sauteed veggies or chicken and salad. Okay, rather than giving paneer sandwich or chicken burger. Even juices with meals. So what happens? These juices, they dilute digestive enzyme and stomach acid. Then the digestion is slowed down, and then there would be bloating, undigested food, which will come out of your stool. What can be the better combo? Warm herbal teas are given 30 minutes after meals. Even raw vegetables and cold curd. Like many of us, they prescribe mixed vegetable raita. Okay. See what happens. The raw vegetables, they dampen digestive fire. Okay. When they are given together, they get fermented inside the gut. The gut brain axis is activated. Okay. Then there would be gas, there would be cold hands or feet, there would be cloudy mind. So it's better to give curd or raita with sauteed vegetables or cooked sabji, not with raw vegetables. Do not give mixed vegetable raita very often. Okay. If a person eats multiple protein sources in one meal, like having egg, paneer, dal, or maybe paneer or dal, or egg or dal, so two protein sources combined in one meal. There are different enzymes which are needed for digestion, and this would cause overload as well. There would be metabolic strain, there would be nausea, there would be heaviness, and there would be poor focus post meal. So you just need to choose one protein per meal for that case. Okay. The next point is how food pairings they affect blood sugar curves and energy levels. See what happened. Many times it happens that we feel sleepy after lunch, or we had an afternoon craving for something sweet, or we feel up waking like very groggy despite eating healthy the day before. So if that's the case, the cause may not be just what you are eating, but how you are combining foods. So most people they blame blood sugar crashes on sugar alone, but improper food pairing can also spike glucose levels. They may also cause erratic energy. They may also cause mood swings or maybe cravings, and even they increase the risk of insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes over time. Okay. If we could say that if the spikes are larger, okay, it would trigger fatigue, it would trigger brain fog, it would trigger cravings as well, it would stress the pancreas, it would store more fat, and it would also contribute to metabolic syndrome and mood disorders. Okay, so now let's talk about the gut microbiome and metabolism. Okay. See, what happens every time we eat, we are not just feeding our body, we are feeding trillions of microbes that live inside the gut. So everybody agrees on that. We have been studying this science from the time we have been studying nutrition. So these microbes, which are collectively called the gut microbiota, they are very essential for digestion, for immunity, for hormone regulation, and even mental health. So, but here's what most people don't realize. The way you combine food, it directly shapes your gut microbiota's behavior. So this means some food combinations, they would nourish beneficial bacteria, while others, they may promote dysbiosis. Okay. We all know dysbiosis, which is an imbalance that leads to bloating, inflammation, fatigue, and even obesity. Okay. See what happens. The human gut, we all know that it is home to more than 100 trillion microbes. Okay. So mostly bacteria, but also fungi or maybe viruses or maybe archaea. They digest fiber, they digest resistant starch, they synthesize vitamins like B12 and K2, they regulate inflammation, they influence neurotransmitters like serotonin and GABA, and they would also support immune balance. Okay. So there are many types of gut bacteria like bifidobacteria or maybe lactobacillus or maybe firmicutes or maybe bacteroides. All of them, they have different function. Okay. So different food that, the food pairings, they affect gut microbiomes at large. For example, if we combine fiber plus polyphenols, which is considered as prebiotic magic, okay. For example, apple and cinnamon, when they are combined together, they feed beneficial bacteria like bifidobacteria, okay. When protein is combined with refined carb, okay, that would lead to undigested protein which is going to ferment in the colon, and it is going to lead to gas, toxins, and dysbiosis. For example, meat pizza or maybe cheese pasta. Okay, if fat and sugar are combined, that is going to lead to microbial confusion. Okay, for example, fried sweets or maybe donuts or pastries, they may promote the growth of firmicutes, which is linked to obesity. Okay, so apart from that, high protein and no fiber, if they are going to combine, then gas might be the symptom. Again, I've been telling fruit and dairy, that is like fermentation overload. Even artificial sweetness, they are going to kill the diversity inside, and they are going to encourage the opportunist, the bad bacteria. Okay. Even the cold drinks, if they are combined with warm meals, when we go outside, we start eating warm burgers with cold drinks. But they are going to inhibit the enzyme activity. There would be incomplete digestion, and then you feel constipated and bloated. So you might have noticed that many times when you go outside and eat maybe burger and French fries with cold drink, or maybe any kind of pizzas with cold drink, the next day you feel constipated and bloating. Has that happened with any of you, or any of your clients would have complained about it, that after having a particular meal, uh, or maybe after having a cheat meal, they are feeling constipated and bloated.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So the next point we'll talk about is leaky gut, gas, and bloating, which is a symptom of combination chaos. See, imagine your gut lining is a fine mesh, like tight enough to block harmful substances, but open enough to absorb nutrients. So now imagine that mesh is getting torn, or maybe it's getting loose, or maybe it's getting inflamed. So this is the leaky gut syndrome. And this is one of the least understood culprits behind the poor food combinations. See, while dietitians and many clients they focus on healthy foods, the way those foods are combined, digested, and absorbed can trigger gas, bloating, and in the long run, intestinal permeability. Okay, the lining is going to get damaged, and you might also suffer from leaky gut syndrome. So, what is actually leaky gut syndrome? Leaky gut syndrome means your gut lining has become porous. So, in a healthy gut, there are tight junctions which hold all the intestinal cells closely. So, only nutrients, water, and electrolyte can pass through. But in the case of leaky gut, there would be toxins, there would be undigested food particles, there would be microbes, and there would be antigens which leak into the bloodstream. The immune system reacts to it, and the person gets chronic inflammation. So if we talk about the symptom, it could be constant bloating, it could be gas after meals, it could be brain fog, it could be skin flare-ups like eczema and acne, it could be food sensitivities, it could be fatigue, and then it could be mood swings as well. So there are many food combinations which may lead to delayed gastric emptying, which may lead to fermentation in the small intestine, which may lead to mucosal damage from byproducts and immune flare-ups as well. We'll be talking about them very soon. Then the next point which we're talking about is inflammation causing fat loss. Okay. See, many people they think about weight loss. They often focus on calories, they focus on macros, or they focus on exercise. But there's an invisible enemy that works silently against every effort, which is called as inflammation. And it doesn't just come from processed food or stress. It also comes from what you thought were healthy meals, just combined in the wrong way. Okay. So this might disturb your gut as well. This might disrupt your hormones like insulin and cortisol. This might promote water retention and fat storage. So inflammation, we all know it's the body's, natural immune response. But chronic low-grade inflammation, it is caused by poor food choices, and it keeps your body in a constant state of maybe hormonal imbalance, water retention, increased fat storage, and sluggish metabolism. So obesity is an inflammatory condition. Okay, so there might be many food combinations which are leading to inflammation and fat gain as well. For example, we can talk about postprandial inflammation, like after meal inflammation, or we can also talk about the leaky gut releasing toxins. We can also talk about fat creation. Okay. So, for example, if we are combining sugar with saturated fat, so it is going to trigger all the pro-inflammatory cytokines, which may promote belly fat. Okay. When red meat is combined with refined carbs, they may cause water retention and joint inflammation. Even when the dairy is combined with wheat, okay, so many people they eat dalia in their morning meals, like combining wheat, dalia, and dairy. That's hard to digest together actually. They often trigger intolerances. This also might lead to bloating, gut inflammation, and skin issues. When the alcohol is combined with spicy foods, that also leads inflammation flare-ups. Even when there is multiple protein combos, okay, that might also lead to autoimmune flare-ups or fatigue. Even when smoothies are had with heavy meals, okay, then they also call slow metabolism, fermentation, and mucus. So gut inflammation is equal to fat retention. There would be cortisol elevation, there would be insulin resistance, there would be leptin resistance, and there would be water retention all together. Okay. So the next important point, which, give me a second, guys. I just want to have water. Okay. Then we have fast digesting and slow for digesting foods together. See what happens when we combine fast foods versus slow foods. We have been talking about it since long. So if anybody of you can come up and tell me what happens when we combine fast foods and slow foods, what's going to happen inside the gut? Anybody? You can unmute yourself and let me know what happens when fast and slow foods they are combined in together.
Again, it will lead to gas formation or bloating or any kind of disturbance in the GI tract. Some kind of disturbance will be definitely there if the fast and slow foods are combined. The pH may vary,
Absolutely.
digestion enzymes vary.
Absolutely. And their digestion time varies. So when the digestion time is not the same, for example, if you are taking up like raw foods, raw salad with cooked foods, okay, the digestion time for raw salads would be different and the digestion time for the cooked food would be different. So together they are going to rot inside your gut. So none of them would get digested. They will rot inside the gut and they will cause gas and bloating. So that's why we need to combine foods very carefully. Okay, so we need to keep in mind their digestion times when we are pairing them up. Okay, sometimes salads they also might feel you made you feel bloated when there is no fat in the salad, when it's just the salad. Okay, so the raw salad can also make you feel bloated. I'll also talk about the five real life meals in the next. Give me a second. Okay. So now we are going to start up with 50 healthy food combinations which we need to avoid. We'll talk about each food combination. I'll tell you the digestive enzyme. Okay. I'll also tell you the pH requirement. And I'm also going to tell you, I think my net is not working yet. Okay. So the first we have high insulin spiking combinations. See, there are various foods which are combining together, which spikes insulin levels up. Okay. For example, many times we plan banana and peanut butter together. Okay. So when we plan banana and peanut butter together, the digestive enzyme involved may be amylase. Okay. See, if we talk about the pH requirement, it's not turning up. Give me a second, guys. I'll just take 2 minutes. I'll sort this out. Okay. So banana and peanut butter. This is like carb and fat combo, which would raise insulin levels. Okay. The digestion would be very slow because the levels, like the acidic and alkaline levels, both are different. Okay. So if you talk about the macronutrient load, then it can be more than 350 calories. Okay. So it can be calorie dense as well. The satiety index is going to be medium. Okay. But it is not digested properly. What could be the alternative? The alternative could be banana and chia seeds. Okay, so banana and peanut butter is not a good combination. It would both of them together, which is a carb and fat combination. It would raise the insulin levels. Okay. The next we have is oats with fruit juice. So many times, what happen? Dietitians, what they plan, they give you oatmeal and they also give you orange juice along with that. Okay, both of them are high glycemic index and liquid sugars. There would be rapid glucose spike if that happens. Okay, and it could be more than 250 calories. 250 calories, these are extras which you are going to get apart from the food which you are eating. The satiety index is going to be low because there is the protein is not paired up properly. Okay, the healthy fat is not there. So if we talk about the better alternative, it could be oats with berries, okay, and almond milk. The next combination is muesli plus milk and banana. All of them are carbs. So many times we plan muesli, milk, and banana together in the diet. Okay. This is all carbs. This is low fiber. This is a low protein combination. Okay. It may cause insulin rise, insulin spike up, and there would be hunger rebound. Like the person will start feeling hungry even after 45 minutes of having this breakfast. Okay, satiety index is going to be low. So instead of that, you can plan muesli with yogurt and berries. Okay. Muesli and yogurt together, and then after that, the berries can be had. Okay. Then we have chia pudding with honey and banana. So many people, what they do, they make chia pudding, they slice banana and put it over that, and then they drop few drizzles of honey. Okay, this is a very imbalanced meal, which is just high sugar with fat. Okay. So this is also going to cause insulin spike. There would be insulin surge. The satiety index would be medium. Okay. Instead of that, chia seeds can be given with berries only. Okay. Chia seeds with berries only. The next combination is ragi porridge and jaggery, which is given in many households. With on many households, they take it in the form of healthy food. Okay, so this is just carb overload without protein. So when you are giving ragi porridge, you need to combine protein with that. Okay, it would cause blood sugar roller coaster where there would be insulin spike, there would be cortisol spike, ghrelin would increase, leptin would slow down. Okay, satiety index would be low. All right. So when you're combining, you need to have a protein source. You need to add around 20 to 30 gram of plant protein powder in the ragi porridge. Okay. Jaggery has to be avoided. So with the ragi porridge, either you can give 2 egg whites. Okay. Or either you can go ahead with a scoop, which is like 25 to 30 grams of plant pea protein in the ragi porridge. Then many times milk and banana is given. So milk and banana बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि it is given. So this the energy, the why it's not ideal for the weight loss is the timing is compatible. 1 second, I'm missing a slide. I guess sorry. I missed a slide. Okay, so the second slide is high insulin spike, wherein dalia, milk, and jaggery is given. The slide thoda sa idhar udhar hua, I guess. Okay, dalia, milk, and jaggery is given. So this is refined carb plus sugar. Even dalia and milk, like milk and wheat, they are also not digested properly when they are given together. Okay, this would also lead to insulin spike and would ferment inside, and it would not digest properly the satiety index is very low. So instead of giving dalia, milk, and jaggery, you can go ahead with oats, milk, and little amount of nuts. Okay, oats, milk, and little amount oats dalia with milk and little amount of nuts would be great. Then let's talk about the most happening energy balls, which we, you know, which we see on Instagram. Like we can see many people who are making energy balls with the help of seeds, dates, nuts, and honey. Okay. This is all sugar plus fat, which would lead to fat storage, which would lead to glucose surge. The satiety index is going to be low. So instead of making energy balls, you can have it individually. Like you can have two dates with 7 to 8 soaked almonds. This is going to be beneficial rather than having the energy balls, which are very popular on social media. Then we have peanut butter plus bread and jam. So many people they take peanut butter with bread and jam. Okay. This is triple insulin trigger. Okay. It would also lead to high insulin overload inside the body, which may lead to increase in the cortisol levels, and your body will, inherit it as stress response, and there would be inflammation inside. So instead of that, you can just go ahead with nut butter with banana slices. Then we have soy chunks, gravy, and rice. Okay. So soy chunks, soya bean curry, which we say soy chunks, gravy, and rice. Okay. These are high carb, fat, and protein combo, which would lead to insulin load. The satiety index is going to be medium. So instead of that, what you can do is instead of making a gravy, you can make a vegetable pulao with soy and dry veggies and small portion of rice. So never ever advise soybean curry with rice. Okay. Then we have smoothie with chia seeds and peanut butter or maybe nut butter, which is considered as very healthy, and it's put it in every diet chart you could see. It's too many calorie dense items. Okay. It slows down fat oxidation. The satiety index might be medium. So instead of that, you can go ahead with smoothie and chia seeds with no nut butter if you want your client to lose fat or lose weight. So these were the high insulin spiking combinations. Then we have the category 2, which is known as digestive disruptors. Okay. So for digestive disruptors, first we have milk and banana. The timing is incompatible. Okay. The energies are incompatible. So milk and banana, when they are taken together, they would lead to mucus formation and they will lead to fermentation inside the gut as well. Okay. So instead, banana with nut milk can be taken. You can take banana with almond milk. That would be fine. But taking banana with whole milk, it actually leads to indigestion and it actually leads to fermentation. So never ever advise normal milk with banana to any of your clients. Then we have fruits after meals. So it's tradition in India that, about 80% of Indians, so maybe more than that, they love having mangoes after meals, in summer especially. So see, fruit, they ferment on top of food. Okay. It would lead to gas and bloating inside. All right. The satiety index is going to be low. So even if you're looking to have fruits, you can have it alone, and when you have it before 11 p.m., that is the best time to have fruits. Okay. When it's empty stomach, and then you can combine it with 5 to 6 soaked almonds and 2 walnut halves. Then we have yogurt with fruits. We combine many fruits with yogurt. We combine yogurt with banana. We combine yogurt with mango. Okay. So this is the worst combination you can think of, because their digestion speeds are different. Their digestion enzymes are different. It's going to lead to bloating, okay, and it would also lead to insulin spike in the body. Instead, fruit and nuts can be given separately, okay. So yogurt can be had separately, and fruits can be combined with small amount of nuts and given like that. Combining milk with citrus fruits, even combining curd with citrus fruits, or even combining yogurt with citrus fruit, okay, it is going to curdle the milk inside. It would also cause indigestion, okay. Either you can combine, then you can combine milk with cinnamon, okay, or you can combine yogurt with cinnamon, and the citrus fruits can be had separately. Never give it in the combination. Then you might see many dietitians giving coconut water with dates and nuts in the mid morning or maybe in the snack time. Okay. It disrupts nutrient absorption. It's very inefficient for digestion. The satiety index is low. Then the coconut water, and you can only give the coconut water with chia seeds, that is beneficial, or you can also give the coconut water with 2 dates. Okay. Okay. Then we have cheese and beans. So many people, they what they do, they eat Mexican rice, they add cheese in it, or maybe you know, uh, beans and cheese when they are combined together. This slow metabolism, they would create flatulence because this is high carb and high fat combination. Okay, again, satiety index is low. Beans can be combined with lemon dressing instead of cheese. Then we have paneer and tomato gravy. So this is like acid plus protein, which might lead to gut stress, okay, which can cause sluggishness. The satiety index is medium. Paneer can be combined with sauteed vegetables or green vegetables. Then many of you might have gone through the diet charts which are made by Americans. What they do, they combine hummus, pita, and olive oil. They think it's healthy, but it's fat and starch load. It lowers down the thermogenesis. The satiety index is medium, and even hummus can be given with wet sticks rather than with pita and olive oil. Then protein shake is combined with high fiber fruits. So many times you plan protein shake with an apple maybe, or protein shake with high fiber fruits. See, fiber delays the absorption of protein. Okay, there you would feel sluggish. There, the protein uptake, the protein digestion is slowed down. It's not properly absorbed. Okay, so shake with bananas or berries only, not with high fiber foods. So here I'll just take a 2 minute break. And if you have any questions, you know, अभी तक अगर ऐसा लगता है कि कोई question है, तो write it down in the chat box. We'll continue with more combinations after 5 minutes. Give me a 5 minute break, please. In the meanwhile, जितना भी अभी तक पढ़ा है, उसके regarding अगर कोई question है, just write it down in the chat box. And then we are going to continue after 5 minutes. People, those who are leaving, they are thinking that the class is over. The class is not over yet. We'll continue after 5 minutes with more combinations. Any questions? Write down in the chat box. Yes, you can have one roti with palak paneer if cream is not there. That's fine. See, for including salad, you need to have it dressed with lemon, or you need to have it dressed with a little amount of olive oil. Okay. So in that way, it would be digested properly. Salads. Okay. And the salads should not be combined with your main meals. If you want to give salads, you should give it at least 1 hour before. It should not be combined with the main meals. If your client is having a sugar craving, so instead of giving him a fruit, maybe also after 45 minutes, see, when the cooked food doesn't digest in 45 minutes only. Okay. So if your client is craving sugar after, 45 minutes after your meals, then you need to look at the food pairing and the food combination which you are giving for the main meals. Okay. The main meals, they might be causing insulin surge, or they might be not appropriate. That's why your client is craving sugar even after having the main meals. Okay. After having a good amount of meal which would contain high biological value protein, healthy amount of fat and carbohydrate, the client should not crave for sugar. Craving for sugar means the food pairing is not appropriate. Chalo, allow me a moment. I'll start with the another combinations. Sorry. Okay. Okay. So now we'll talk about the Ayurvedically incompatible combinations like Virud Ahar, that how these foods affect your Prakriti. Okay. The first one is curd and fish. See, curd gives you cold energy and fish gives you hot energy. So when you combine hot and cold energy, it causes conflict. Okay. Many people, they have like Malai fish tikka. So, guys, this gives hot and cold energy conflict, which results into the toxin formation inside the body. The satiety index might be medium, but this is not good at all. So, instead of giving curd with fish, you can go ahead with fish and veggies only. Then we have mango plus milk, mango shake in every household, जो कि समर में बहुत ज्यादा प्रमोट किया जाता है. Okay. It's also not ideal for even weight loss or fat loss or even your gut. Okay. Because sweet and dairy, when it's combined together, it leads to mucus formation inside the body. You might feel heavy after having, you are not getting energy, you are going to feel sluggish, or you're going to feel heavy after having this combination. Okay. The satiety index will be low, and if you want to take in, go ahead with mango and almond milk rather than going with normal milk. Then we have curd and banana, or maybe yogurt and banana. See, both of them are cold. दोनों की प्रकृति ठंडी होती है. They would lead to mucus buildup. Okay. So if you talk about the digestive impact, it will lead to bloating. It will lead to mucus formation inside. Okay. The satiety index is low. So banana can be paired up with soaked almonds rather than pairing it up with curd. Okay. When milk and salt is taken together, okay, so what happens, people, they add cream, or they add butter in their paneer curries. Okay, this is also a complete energetic mismatch, and it will also lead to toxin accumulation inside the body. The satiety index might be medium, but paneer should can be uh, made with tomato based gravy rather than making it in milk, or making it in curd, or making it in cream or butter. Then we have fruit chaat with lemon and salt. This is a very worst combination which would lead to acidity. So many people, they make fruit chaat, they add a pinch of lemon or they add a pinch of salt in above it. So salt and acid, it is going to lead to gut lining irritation. It is going to, it is the first step when you are putting your gut towards leaky gut syndrome. It would lead to acidity. So fruit should always be taken without salt or without lemon. The next combination we have is कर्ड एंड अनियन. बहुत बार होता है ना अनियन रायता या फिर टमेटो रायता. These are of opposing qualities like cold and heat. They create toxin formation. They would lead to mucus buildup. They would lead to gas. Okay. So curd is better with cucumber or mint only. Curd and onion should not be Ayurvedically. It's not. It's virud. Okay. It should not be given. Curd and mango. Many times, people they give mango yogurt. Okay. So if you are combining a sweet food with a fermented food, that is also going to lead to toxin generation. It is also going to lead to bloating and heaviness. Okay. The satiety index is going to be low. So mango alone can be given with soaked nuts. It should not be combined with curd or yogurt. Then we have milk and eggs. They are not compatible as per Ayurveda. So milk and eggs, when they are given together, they lead to gas and they lead to indigestion. Indigestion. Sometimes what happens, people are taking milk along with eggs, and when it's not suiting them, they just say, "Okay, I might be allergic to eggs." No, you are not allergic to eggs. You are just allergic to combine when you are not combining the foods properly. Okay. Again, curd and milk, when both of them are taken together, one is fermented, one is fresh dairy, it might causes imbalance. It might cause sluggish digestion. So what happened? Paneer gravies are made with the help of, curd or with the help of milk and or cream. And then you take up raita as well with them. Okay. So this might lead to sluggish digestion. They should be taken separately and there should be at least 4 to 5 hours of gap. Okay, when milk and curd are taken together. Then again, when curd and banana is given together, as I told you, both of them are cold, and there would be fog or mucus formation. There would be fermentation inside the gun. So banana can be given with soaked almonds only. Okay. So the next which I'm going to talk about is satiety misleaders. So you might get confused that they are leading to satiety. They are making you full, but it's actually not the case. Okay. So they might be leading to something which is not good for your gut. Many times, dietitians prescribe granola with yogurt and dry fruits to their client. It's not at all ideal for weight loss because there are many hidden sugars inside the granola. When you're combining granola with fermented food and fat, there would be quick hunger return. The satiety index is going to be low. So the better alternative would be to combine yogurt with berry and flaxseed. Okay. Then we have corn and butter. So कई बार ऐसा होता है जब you tell them to eat corn and they put a pinch of black pepper or some amount of butter in it because it tastes good. So no, when the fat is combined with starch, it would delay the burning of food, delay the digestion of food. There would be low thermic effect. The satiety index would be very low. So corn can just be combined with some lime and rock salt. We plan upma and coconut chutney in the diets of our clients. Okay. Right. Which is high carb and fat only. Okay. So this is just high carb and fat. The satiety is really poor. So when you are combining, giving upma and coconut chutney, instead of coconut chutney, you can go ahead with lemon pickle, first thing. And the second thing is always that you need to add a protein source along with upma. So never ever give upma with green tea. No, that's a very poor combination. That's a very poor, the satiety level is very poor. Upma should always be combined with lentil or a protein source. Then we have idli and coconut chutney. So many time vegetable idli is given with coconut chutney. So which is like carb plus fat, high carb plus fat, which would only lead to fat storage. It will lead to sluggishness inside your gut. The satiety index is very low. Idli should be combined with sambar. Okay. So only idli and coconut chutney should not be given. So there are times when, dietitians, they act very fancy and they give paneer tikka with cream dip to their clients. Okay. So you might have seen many diet charts like that. I have seen many diet charts like that, where people, they are promoting paneer tikka with cream dip. So guys, this is protein with fat and fat. It's going to be very heavy inside the stomach. The satiety index might be medium, but it's going to create, a gastric overload inside. So paneer can be combined with mint chutney rather than combining it with any kind of cream dip. Then again, we have roti with potato curry, which is the favorite food for everybody in Indian household, which is carb and carb only, which will lead to insulin spike. The satiety index is very low. So roti can be combined with dry vegetable, and even a lentil sauce should be included. Again, we have a very healthy food, which is a smoothie bowl with granola and nut butter. It's very much calorie dense. It's low in fiber. There could be hunger rebound. There could be insulin spike. There could be cortisol spike as well. The satiety index is medium. Smoothie should be given with seeds only rather than with granola and nut butters. Then we have fruit salad with maple syrup, which is, given in many households in US. Okay. So this is fructose with syrup overload, okay, which may cause fermentation inside the gut, disturb the gut lining, lead to cortisol spike. The satiety index is very low. Fruit salad only is a good option. Never ever combine it with salt, lemon, or maybe black pepper, or maybe sugar. Okay. Then we have dhokla and chutney and tea. So you might consider it very healthy and you might give it breakfast or maybe at the snack time. But this is like sugar, caffeine, and carb all together. Okay. So sugar, caffeine, and carb, it is going to cause indigestion. Okay. And the satiety index is also very low. So dhokla with green chutney only is good. Do not include tea with, dhokla and chutney. Salad and cream dressing. The volume is low. The, fat is very high. The satiety window is also going to be very low. Okay. So salad can be combined with olive oil and lemon. That is the best thing to do in order to make them absorb. Give me a second, guys. Okay. So now we have food which have low thermic effect and which also suppress fat oxidation. Okay. So these food, it has very low thermic effect. We know that all foods, though, they have some thermic effect. Like protein, it has the higher thermic effect. It, burns it, or the food also burns calorie while digestion. Okay. So there are many food combinations like combining avocado toast with egg and cheese. This is like fat and carb. The metabolism will slow down. Okay. The metabolism will become sluggish, as well as the thermic effect of food is very low because fat it has the lowest thermic effect, accompanied by carbohydrate, whose thermic effect is just 5%. Okay. So when we talk about the better alternative, we need to eliminate cheese. Okay. So avocado toast can be given with poached eggs. Then we have pastas or with cream sauce. Okay. This is like refined carb and fat, which slows down digestion. Whole wheat pasta should only given with veggie sauce, not with any kind of cream sauce. Please do not make the meal fancy, okay, in order to sell any kind of diet charts, because that is going to create havoc inside your client's body. It's not going to do anything good. When rajma and rice is combined with ghee, even when rajma is made in ghee, or even a one, 1 to 2 ghee is added over rice, and then it is eaten with rajma. Okay, this is like fat, starch, and legume all together. This is a very heavy meal. Okay, which takes a lot time to digest, but people doesn't intake that meal as well. Satiety index is medium. Rajma rice is fine, but make sure that ghee is not added over the top or in the rice. Then we have khichdi, ghee, and papad. Everybody thinks that it's very healthy. So it's like carb, fat, and fried, which has low thermic effect. The thermic effect is very low. Okay. Khichdi is considered to be a complete food when the amount of dal is a little on a higher side than carbohydrate. Okay. Khichdi, curd, and salad is fine. Salad also around 1 hour before khichdi and curd. Okay. Then we have paneer and rice. Paneer curries which are cooked in butter, or paneer curries and जिसमें cream or butter or ऐसा कुछ added है, when they are given with rice. Okay, this is a very special combination of fat and carbohydrate. It causes heaviness inside the body. The satiety index is medium. Paneer curry without butter, milk, and cream is fine. Never ever tell them to add cream, milk, or butter inside a paneer curry. Then we have muesli, banana, and milk. Many of us, might plan this combination, but it's like all carbs with a sugar hit. Okay, it's all carbs with a sugar hit. It is going to give energy crash rather than providing energy. So muesli can be combined with yogurt. Again, a protein source has to be there. And if you want to give a fruit, then instead of banana, you can go ahead with berries. Then we have chickpea salad and cheese. So many people, what they do not like chickpea salad as it is. They would want to add any kind of maybe dip or any kind of maybe cream or anything to make that chickpea salad tasty. Many of our clients do that. This is protein and fat, which slows down digestion, okay, but delays gastric emptying. So chickpea salad should be given with lemon juice. They should never ever be given with any kind of cream dressings. Then we have vegetable soup combined with garlic bread or cheese, or we could say vegetable soup combined with multigrain bread, or vegetable soup combined with brown bread, whatever healthier options you can think of. So this is fat with refined carbs. There is a lot of risk of overeating. Okay. Satiety index is medium. Either you can combine soup. If you're combining it with multigrain toast, make sure that you are adding a protein source. Then we have quinoa salad, avocado, and olive oil. So this is the most famous, combination I have heard of: quinoa salad with avocado and olive oil. This is triple fat overload. Okay, the fat oxidation would slow down. Quinoa salad can be given with lemon dressing. Avoid it with avocado and olive oil. Then we have paratha with curd. So you might have been giving maybe one stuffed paratha with curd. Okay, this is like carb, fat, and fat. It reduces thermogenic effect. It reduces thermic effect as well. So if you want to give parathas, make sure the stuffing inside is protein. Okay, or you can give paratha with pickle or chutney only. Avocado, hummus, and whole wheat wrap. Another fancy combination. Avocado. So this is a very high fat combo, which is very dense. It's dense in carbohydrate as well, and it slows down the fat burning. It causes heaviness inside the gut. The thermogenesis is very low. The satiety is medium. So if you want to give in, then you can include avocado with cucumber, and you can add lemon, not wrap. So avocado, cucumber, and lemon would be fine. Then we have brown rice with moong dal and ghee. So brown rice and moong dal, it's given together many times. The people, they add ghee in their rice, or they add the ghee in the dal itself. It's healthy individually, but this combo, it slows down fat oxidation. It would delay gastric emptying. So brown rice can be given with dal along with the steamed veggie, and no ghee should be added. So guys, these were some so-called healthy food combinations which we actually need to avoid. We actually need to avoid brown rice and moong dal with ghee. Okay. So कभी कभार क्या होता है, हम अपने क्लाइंट्स को बोलते हैं कि घी में खाना बनाओ, है ना? Your dal should be cooked in ghee, or you can also add 1 tablespoon of brown rice के ऊपर आप एक घी एक चम्मच डाल दो, और ये आपका ब्लड शुगर लेवल्स को स्टेबलाइज करेगा. So that's not the case. बहुत सारे foods ऐसे होते हैं which should not be combined in together. So if you have any questions right now, please write it down in the chat box. Whatever questions you have, we are going to have the Q&A sessions now, and I'm going to give you like 10 minutes. जो भी questions आपके दिमाग में आ रहा है regarding the food pairing thing or anything, please write down in the chat box. Okay. Let me read out the questions and then we'll take up the answers. So, bread and peanut butter. See, bread and peanut butter, it's going to raise, the insulin levels. It is going to cause insulin spikes as well. Okay. So, bread along with peanut butter, it's not ideal because first thing, it is going to cause insulin spike. Second thing, there would be digestive enzyme clash. Okay. So, bread, it needs amylase, which is a carb digesting enzyme, and peanut butter, it needs lipase, which is a fat digesting enzyme. So this mismatch enzyme demand slow gastric emptying and leads to fermentation. Then there would be pH conflict. There would be bloating and acidity due to delayed digestion. There would be satiety confusion. Okay. The calories will be higher, but there would be no satiety levels. And there would be inflammation because bread, maybe white bread or brown bread or multigrain bread, they contain gluten, which with peanut additives can trigger inflammation in the sensitive individuals as well. Okay. Okay, what is the next question? What is your take on ghee coffee and one glass warm water? In that, added 1 teaspoon of ghee and have it first thing in the morning. Okay, so you want me to compare ghee in water and ghee coffee, right? See, ghee coffee, it typically includes coffee with 1 teaspoon of ghee, which is sometimes unsalted. Okay. It is very popular with people who are on keto diets or who are on fat adaptation diets or maybe who are on intermittent fasting. Okay. See, this is not ideal for weight loss for more people because it is a combination of pure fat and caffeine. There is no protein or fiber. The satiety is short lived. It raises insulin indirectly, especially when it is, paired up with carbs maybe later. It may also cause gut discomfort because in people who have low bile or those who have like sluggish gallbladders, okay, and it's not good for people whose cortisol levels are already high. See, caffeine in the morning, it increases cortisol, and when it's paired with fat, it may also suppress digestion for the rest of the day, and it's not nutritionally dense as well. उसकी जगह पे if you are giving ghee in warm water first thing in the morning, it would lubricate gut, it would promote bile secretion, it would improve nutrient absorption, hormones को balance करेगा. It is also good for gut lining repair. So if you ask me which one is better, it's definitely ghee and warm water, which is better. 1 teaspoon honey with warm water is good for weight loss, or is it sugar spike in the morning? Because level of insulin is high in the morning, right? Please correct me if I'm wrong. So 1 teaspoon of honey with 1 teaspoon of lemon with a glass of warm water is good for weight loss or not? See, first thing which I would like to correct you is honey should never be given in warm water. Okay, garam pani mein honey kabhi bhi nahi dena chahiye. Okay. And when we talk about the scientific reality, see, honey is the simple sugar. It can cause insulin response even in small amount. So in the morning, what happens? Cortisol level is naturally high between 6 a.m. to like 8 a.m. Okay? So adding sugar at this time can amplify insulin spike, which may promote fat storage over time. When lemon is added, okay, it alkalizes but does not cancel out the sugar spike. Okay. So if you are insulin resistance or maybe overweight, or if you have PCOS, or if you are doing intermittent fasting, this combo might raise your blood sugar and stall fat burning. Okay. So if you want to use it, you can use it 1 to 2 hours after eating. That is the better time. You can give it to active individuals or athletes, or you can also give it for cold and flu support. But again, it should not. It should be कैसे बोलते हैं ना एकदम गुनगुना पानी. It should not be warm water. It should be water at a little high temperature. Little, okay, little higher than normal temperature. Honey should not be given in warm water. Okay, it's actually it's actually wrong. So better alternatives, if you are looking for, you can give plain warm lemon water. It alkalizes and it also helps liver. You can go with ghee in warm water as asked by the previous student, okay, soak methi or jeera water is also fine. You can go ahead with that as well. What kind of combination we can go for when a client is obese, diabetic, and hyperuricemic at the same time? See, if you ask about the combination, okay, which would the combination you must choose would be the food which have, you know, high thermogenic effect and which gives high satiety, the foods which stabilize blood glucose and insulin response. The purine intake should be low to reduce the uric acid, okay. It should be anti-inflammatory and gut friendly, and the fructose should be minimal. So if you think only purine or protein increases uric acid, then you're absolutely wrong. Usse bhi zyada fructose or sugar is the culprit to increase uric acid synthesis. So avoid combining high carb food with fat. You can focus on low glycemic index carbs with fiber and lean protein. You need to avoid purine rich combinations, okay. And again, शुगर शुड बी कम्प्लीटली स्टॉप, ठीक है। सिर्फ प्यूरिन की वजह से या सिर्फ प्रोटीन की वजह से यूरिक एसिड नहीं बढ़ता है, शुगर इक्वली कल्प्रिट है, ओके। Alkaline combinations include karo, anti-inflammatory pairings include karo. Okay, so if you ask me the food recommendation, it could be mung dal chila, paneer grated mung dal chila with mint chutney. Okay, it could be cucumber with chia seeds. Okay, or you can also give rice with lauki chane ki dal sabji and buttermilk, jeera buttermilk. Okay, Trifla powder can be given with warm water. So these will be the combinations which are highly effective. Okay. And the combinations which cannot be taken would be palak paneer made in ghee, that should not be taken, or rajma rice, chole rice. Okay, they should not be taken regularly. Banana and peanut butter should be avoided. Muesli milk and dry fruits should be avoided in such cases. And or even roti and aloo ki sabji should be avoided in such cases. Okay. So if you're looking for replacements, instead of using rajma chole, you can give masoor dal, you can give moong dal or tofu. Okay. And instead of giving bananas, etc., you can give berries or apple slices with soaked chia seeds. Okay. So these are some recommendations. Okay, so next question is, what's your take on infused water in empty stomach in the morning, like mint infused water, cucumber water, and so on? Is betel leaf water good for diabetes and weight loss? Okay. See what happens when we talk about infused water on an empty stomach in the morning. It's generally beneficial. Okay, especially when targeted towards specific health goals. Okay, so to talk about mint water, it calms digestion. If you talk about cucumber water, it's cooling and it's, you know, hydrating, or it's mild diuretic. So lemon water without honey, it aids liver detox. Okay, it's effective because it stimulates, you know, insulin. If you talk about betel leaf water, okay, so it's effective because it stimulates insulin secretion naturally. It supports fat metabolism. It is going to boost out the digestive enzyme, and it has alkaline properties as well. So, okay, so if you ask me about the best infused water, that is going to be betel leaf water. It's going to be cucumber and fennel water, or fenugreek seed water. Ginger and tulsi water is also good. Coriander seed water is also good. So these are the best infused waters which can be given. Can we drink fenugreek water overnight soaked in empty stomach for weight loss and diabetes? Okay. Yes, fenugreek water is good. But if you are waking up in the morning on an empty stomach, you should always go ahead with a glass of lukewarm water to flush out all the toxins. And after that, you can go ahead with fenugreek water. Plain warm lemon water should not be, drunk empty stomach, as it is a little acidic. But one thing is, when lemon it enters inside the body, it alkalizes. Okay, So when you have already had a glass of lukewarm water and empty stomach, then after 15 to 20 minutes, you can go ahead with plain warm lemon water, because lemon, it alkalizes inside the body. Okay. So you're looking for alternatives for peanut butter. Okay. So the alternative for peanut butter, okay, it could be seed crackers with hummus. It could be banana with chia seeds. Okay. It could be cucumber slices with hunker dip. Okay. If you're looking for options. Okay. So instead of peanut butter, you can have nut butters in small amount. Okay. Okay, guys, any more questions? If you do not have any questions, you can write down no questions in the chat box. If you do not have any more questions, you can write down no questions in the chat box quickly. Everybody. Sushmita, Shrutika, Kartika, Prachi, Shereen, Shruti, everybody. And please rate the class out of 5. Everybody, please rate the class out of 5. How was the class? How did you find it? Thank you so much, Kartika. Thank you, Aisha. Thank you, Shanu. Thank you, Shrutika. Thanks a lot. And make sure that you are not including. Thank you, Sushmita. Means a lot. Make sure you're not making this mistake in including this in your client's diet chart, because healthy की जगह फिर आप उसे unhealthy खिलाओगे, वो unhealthy food से भी ज़्यादा worse होगा. Thanks a lot for joining in. I'll be giving more insightful sessions in upcoming time. Be there, and those who are not there in the NIND group, you'll be given a form tomorrow. You'll be added into the group tomorrow, wherein we share courses, we share PDFs, jobs, and internships. You can be there. If you want to contact me directly, I'm dropping my email address. You can share your queries there. It's fdr@nindofficial.org. Thanks a lot, everybody. Good night.